Today on Rappler, Justice Secretary Laila de Lima says the JBC, the IBP, and the Supreme Court conspired to disqualify her from the Chief Justice race. RH bill critics win round one in the House as filibustering prevents the plenary from tackling the bill. And scientists say the Fukushima radiation leak causes genetic mutations in butterflies. Hello, I'm Maria Ressa. Welcome to Rappler, your social news network. Justice Secretary Laila de Lima, disqualified from the post of Chief Justice because of pending cases, says the Judicial and Bar Council, the Supreme Court, and the Integrated Bar of the Philippines conspired against her. Speaking in Filipino, de Lima says, "It's obvious that the SC, the IBP, and the JBC all agreed to pin me down as if they have the objective that it should be anybody but de Lima." De Lima will move for a review of what she calls a lopsided disqualification rule of the Judicial and Bar Council, which junks contenders with pending criminal and administrative cases. The JBC disqualified de Lima because of 3 cases filed against her in 2011. The cases seek to disbar her for defying a Supreme Court temporary restraining order in November 2011, stopping her from implementing a travel ban on former President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo and her husband, Jose Miguel Mike Arroyo. De Lima says the Supreme Court acted late on the disbarment complaints against her and referred the cases to the IBP only in July. Yet she notes the SC quickly dismissed the disbarment complaint filed against Acting Chief Justice Antonio Carpio, who is also vying for the post of Chief Justice. Justices, though, are immune from prosecution and can only be impeached. De Lima says she will no longer question the decision of the JBC, dropping her from the shortlist. The 8-member Judicial Bar Council is split on the suspension of its rule disqualifying candidates with pending cases from the Chief Justice race. JBC member Representative Niel Tupas Jr. says the JBC discussed the motion to suspend the rule on disbarment. 4 voted in favor of the motion and 4 voted against it. The suspension would have benefited Justice Secretary de Lima, the reported choice of President Benigno Aquino III for Chief Justice. Before the JBC's Monday meeting, 3 candidates stood to benefit from the JBC suspension of this rule: de Lima, Solicitor General Francis Hardaleza, and Securities and Exchange Commission Chair Teresita Herbosa. Acting on motions for reconsideration, the JBC ruled that Hardaleza and Herbosa were qualified. The Integrated Bar of the Philippines previously ordered a full-blown probe of the disbarment complaints against de Lima. Tupas says the IBP decision hurt de Lima's chances.
Ang bottom line, that's the reason why Secretary de Lima was disqualified. She was never singled out. Anyway, so it was really based on the rules on JBC.
Despite languishing in Congress for 17 years, the Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines finds it unfair the government is now, quote, railroading it. In a stinging statement Monday evening, the CBCP denounces the House of Representatives' decision last week to end debates on the RH bill. It's the first statement delivered right after the opening song at a mass with anti-RH bill legislators in St. Peter's Parish in Quezon City. CBCP says the voting should have been done on August 7 as initially scheduled. In a statement, the CBCP says people were caught off guard by the suddenness of the execution and adds, "We are dismayed by the display of naked power." CBCP President and Cebu Archbishop Jose Palma says he would have wanted to attend the voting.
It's unfair, as I said. No? You schedule it on the 7th, then all of a sudden on the 6th, you make that decision. People were not there, they did not expect that. You cannot impose, we're only asking us to respect us. Now,
Zambales Representative Mitos Magsaysay was at the Mass and debunks arguments the bill has languished in Congress for nearly 2 decades.
Because every Congress, we have different members of the House of Representatives. So they're all entitled to understand the bill and they're also entitled to their own opinions. So you cannot say that this measure has been there for so long.
Critics of the reproductive health bill win round one in the House of Representatives. They successfully blocked the House plenary from tackling the controversial measure through a series of privileged speeches Tuesday. The legislative chamber was scheduled to begin the period of amendments on the RH bill Tuesday, but RH bill principal author Albay Representative Edsa Lagman says it's only a temporary victory for the critics of the bill.
But, delay is a very temporary victory because that will only temporize the passage of the measure. I think by tomorrow we will have to try again, more particularly the part of the leadership, to muster a quorum which we need.
Earlier, the RH bill proponents in the House agreed to delete controversial provisions to avoid delay in the passage of the bill. The House plenary begins the period of amendments on Tuesday. Supporters and critics of the bill are allowed to change, delete, or add several provisions. Among the provisions the pro-RH bill lawmakers agreed to change include deleting Section 20 of the bill, which encourages couples to have 2 children as the ideal family size, deleting Section 21, which requires companies with at least 200 employees, quote, to provide reproductive health services to its employees, deleting the provision that prohibits people from peddling malicious disinformation on the bill, amending Section 15, which requires district representatives to fund the proposed mobile healthcare service, and including a provision that will relax the responsibilities of hospitals owned by the religious. Earlier, critics of the bill threatened to introduce amendments that will, quote, kill the bill. RH bill principal author Albay Representative Edsa Lagman says they will accept amendments that will not destroy the essence of the bill. Tropical storm Helen, international name Kai Tak, intensifies as it moves closer to northern Luzon, leaving 1 person dead. It's last spotted 230 kilometers east-southeast of Tuguegarao City. Signal number 2 is up over Cagayan, including Calayan and Babuyan Islands, Isabela, Apayao, Kalinga, Ilocos Norte, Abra, and the Batanes group of islands. Signal number 1 is up over Aurora, Quirino, Nueva Vizcaya, Ifugao, Benguet Mountain Province, La Union, and Ilocos Sur. The storm will enhance the southwest monsoon that will bring rain over Luzon and Visayas, especially over the western sections. President Aquino meets with officials of State Weather Bureau Pag-asa in the middle of protests by employees. The employees wear black armbands in protest over unpaid benefits since March. They promise work at the State Weather Bureau will not be affected. Employees' demands include release of hazard and longevity pay. President Aquino says the hazard pay will be given to workers on hazardous assignments. He adds those who are not should not feel entitled to it. The employees say they will hold a noise barrage on Friday. A rebel attack in the boundary of Datupiang, Maguindanao and Midsayat, North Cotabato leaves 1 soldier dead. The attack by MILF breakaway group, the Bangsamoro Islamic Freedom Fighters, also wounds another army personnel. The BIFF engages in a firefight with a detachment of the 401st Brigade that lasted around 45 minutes. Last week, the BIFF also attacked 11 towns in Maguindanao, killing 3. Ayala Land wins the 74-hectare Food Terminal Inc., one of the largest state-owned industrial complexes in Metro Manila and one of the government's last available assets for sale. The FTI agro-industrial complex is home to more than 300 lesser companies. Ayala Land bests bids by property groups Empire East and Robinson's Land Corporation. Ayala's bid of 24.331 billion pesos is more than double the property's floor price of 10.2 billion pesos. Proceeds of the sale will go to the Department of Agriculture and the Department of Agrarian Reform for the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Program. Well, let's now look at Rappler's Wrap for today, a list of the 10 most important events around the world you shouldn't miss. At number 3, Deutsche's chief economist for Asia, Michael Spencer, in an interview with Bloomberg, says, quote, the strongest performing economy in Asia today is the Philippines. It recorded a 6.4% growth in the first 3 months, making it the best performing economy in the region next to China. The Philippines has been getting a lot of attention from foreign investors that traditionally only had Thailand, Malaysia, and Indonesia in their investment radar. The Philippine Stock Exchange hit record highs nearly 20 times since President Aquino took office in 2010, making it now one of the most expensive stocks in Asia. At number 5, The farm sector registers a paltry 0.93% growth, far below the 4% to 5% target for the year. Agriculture is a key indicator of the Philippines' ability to post robust economic growth and lift more people out of poverty. Agriculture officials cite the 2-month fishing ban on the overfished parts of the Pacific Ocean. They, however, remain optimistic of better performance in the last half of the year, despite bad weather and floods that inundated crops and hit the country before the fourth quarter. At number 7, Pope Benedict XVI's former butler, Paolo Gabriel, will stand trial for, quote, aggravated theft. The butler is accused of stealing secret documents that expose feuds within the church and of leaking them to journalists. Also charged is Claudio Schiarpaletti, an analyst and computer programmer in the Vatican. The butler faces up to 6 years in prison. The Vatican has been shaken by the scandal. And at number 10, a survey shows 46% of respondents in the U.S. claim they are less productive at work without coffee. The results show 61% drink at least 2 cups each workday, and that more younger workers aged 18 to 24 claim that coffee helps their career by providing an opportunity to network with other co-workers. For the full top 10, visit Rappler.com's The Wrap. Radiation from Japan's Fukushima nuclear plant causes genetic mutations in butterflies, raising fears radiation could affect other species. Around 12% of pale grass blue butterflies exposed to nuclear fallout as larvae had abnormalities, including smaller wings and damaged eyes. 3 reactors of the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant went into meltdown last year in the world's worst atomic disaster in 25 years. The findings raise fears over the long-term effects of the leaks on people exposed to radiation in the weeks after the accident. But researchers say it's too soon to conclude if the radiation that caused genetic mutation in the butterflies will also affect humans. Workers of the decommissioned plant in Fukushima worry about long-term effects. Every story on Rappler has a mood meter. On the mood meter are 8 emotions. You click on the mood and your vote goes to Rappler's Mood Navigator in the center of the front page. The Mood Navigator takes all the votes and chooses the stories, the top 10 that have gotten the most number of votes. It's interesting today, if you take a look, there are 2 real groups that have formed. 4 stories on the RH bill, all red, angry. The story with the largest vote, Sota's no to RH bill speech, flares up social media, 59% angry. One of our top stories today, CBCP hits government for railroading the RH bill, 68% angry. On the other side, on the green side, we have JBC disqualifies De Lima from CJ race, 75% happy. And strongest performing Asian economy, the Philippines, at 70% happy. All of these votes, the green votes, win the day, are aggregated into the mood of the day today. Most people are happy. Well, that's Rappler's Newscast for today, Tuesday, August 14, 2012. Visit Rappler.com and watch our newscast Monday to Friday. Tell us how you feel on our mood meter and help us choose the mood of the day. I'm Maria Ressa. As we say at Rappler, tomorrow begins today.